So, as me and the doc stood there, staring them down, one in some sort of Goliath tank-like suit of armor, and the other seeming to be in somewhat more of a slender model. Both of them seemed far more advanced than the average suits. They definitely had some special tricks to them. If I had to place a guess, I'd say that the cannon that the big one used to wipe out one of the XPCs is only the start of its armaments. Okay, Doc, I don't think either one of these guys is going to be as simple as they look. The smaller one looks like he might go down with an attack from either one of us. However, for some odd reason, I'm getting the feeling that it's not going to be that simple. And the big guy, I'm guessing he's got a lot of weaponry tucked away under that armor. I don't think all that size is just brute force. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. You've killed one henchman, you've killed them all. Hey, we're not henchmen. We're loyal employees. I resent that comment. The smaller one replied. So, what's Alexander's plan? Just kill us off? Was he expecting it to be that simple? He just strolls in here with a few suits of armor, thinking he can wipe the competition off the board? Well, I don't know what you mean by this Alexander. I've never heard of him. Have you heard of him, big guy? The small one said, looking up to the large figure looming beside him. Never heard of him. A voice echoed from some sort of audio projection system within the interior of the armor. I think these guys are confused. I grit my teeth for a moment as I hear them. So, they're at least smart enough to play dumb. They're not going to outright admit they're working for Alexander. I suppose that would be too easy. You know, you could make this easy on yourself and just give up, I said, looking across to them. I don't know if you know this, but your chances of winning are nil. You may think you've got some sort of advantage, but I assure you, you don't. This fight's only gonna go one way. So how about I give you the option right here and now? Take off the armored suits and surrender, and we'll go ahead and let you live. You can just spend some time behind bars, and that'll be that. Just curious. Were you actually expecting that load of shit to work? The small one replied. I mean, really, do you think we were just gonna lay down and let you cart us off to prison? Yeah, I think I'd prefer death. At least I'd get to go out with a bang. Yeah, but I highly doubt we're going down. He's bluffing. He has no idea what he's got waiting for him. Well, I don't know, big guy. The small one replied to the larger one. He did take out all those other soldiers fairly easily. He is a tech freak after all. However, he seems to be somewhat of a new one. The other ones looked all mutated. But aside from the fact that he seems to be able to take a cannon blast pretty well, he doesn't look any different than ordinary. And that other guy, well, I don't know what his deal is. But he's not exactly normal either. So I don't think we can just outright back on having better gear. I think these guys might actually have a challenge for us. Believe whatever you want, the big guy replied. I'm sick of waiting, he said as he began a mad charge in our direction. The doctor held his ground, raising that black pistol of his, and beginning to fire one shot after another, as they impacted with explosions against the outward side of the heavy armor that covered the figure. They didn't even slow him down. I rushed at him, streaking in between the doctor's shots. As I closed in, his footprints lumbering in my direction, as he raised his massive fist overhead trying to go for a swing. I darted underneath, evading the downward thrust, as it impacted, shattering into the ground, creating a crater where his fists landed. I slid underneath his form, using my blade to slash out at one of his legs. Sparks flew as it grinded against the armor plating, and it was then that I noticed the energy field his armor was projecting an energy deflection system. It wasn't just the armor plating itself. This guy's defenses were maxed out, even with my physical strength slamming into it with the blade. I managed to create a scar along the knee area of his leg, but that was about it. I would have turned around for another attack. However, I quickly found his slender friend had already closed the distance. He was fast, sweeping in with that blade of his with a glowing edge on it. He swung out at me. I parried with my blade. Once again, sparks flew as they impacted. And just like that, the fight had started. The one in the more slight suit of armor was damn fast. He slashed out at me again and again as I parried off his attacks, trying to make my own. His attack speed was nearly equivalent to mine, and his response time was way faster than human. He was actually able to see my attacks coming and respond effectively. No human can move that fast. What in the hell is he? I thought to myself as I slashed out at him, the impact of the blade sending him reeling backwards for a moment as he deflected it, his feet grinding back a foot or so before he stepped off of them, taking a few steps back to steady himself, taking up a fighting stance. "Wow, you are fast," he said, looking at me out through that suit of armor. The design of his armor was way different than the other guys. It seemed much thinner, and yet the thrumming light that beamed out from underneath it said that the energy that his armor was producing was way higher. I had started taking scans of him already, but he was producing an energy field that made him hard to read. Unlike the others, I couldn't get clear scans of the interior. "So, how exactly do you keep up with me? Those aren't exactly human reflexes." "Oh, you noticed that, did you? State-of-the-art neural accelerator." "Neural accelerator?" "Yeah, the best crystal tech you can think of. You probably know by this point that all the armor suits have a secondary brain that commits processing, interlacing it with that of the person wearing the suit. But that basically just processes in the background. My suit works a little bit differently. Instead of that backup brain just working as backup, it aligns with my regular neural pathways on a much more intimate level. Basically, instead of having two brains, I just have one, half biological, half mechanical, working in unison, rather than one just backing the other up, dividing functions in between them in order to optimize effective response time, reflexes, perceptions. And while my suit might have a much lighter design than that of the others, that's by design. Sure, I might be a little easier to hurt, but without all that machinery in the way, I'm able to move far more effectively. And a series of exoskeletal stabilizers, electrical impulse management systems, and muscular superchargers allow my body to keep up with the brain, moving faster, hitting harder. All of the other schmoes may get the run-of-the-mill stuff, but me and my friend, we're rocking nothing but the top of the line. But I'm not going to say it doesn't come with its own backfalls. After I really push this thing, you could say that moving that fast isn't exactly good for the human body. It aches like hell. But luckily enough, my suit also comes with a neural dampener, shorts out the pain relays, cuts the signals down so that it's not, well, unbearable. I still have to go in and get regular nano treatment in order to repair my fractured bone structure and torn muscle tissue. But hell, for the results, I kinda say it's worth it. Huh, I thought Alexander's whole spiel was on the problem with nanotech. And here you are, boasting that you use nanotech in order to recover from using that stupid suit. I replied, "Oh yeah, that Alexander guy from the news. Once again, I don't really know what you're talking about. I work for a private industry. We don't have anything to do with crystal tech. We're just loyal customers who like their equipment and made some modifications ourselves. Huh, what a load of crap, I replied. I suppose it doesn't matter. You don't have to admit that you work for Alexander. What's going to happen to you is going to be the same regardless, I replied as I charged in, prepared for another round of attacks, as once again our blades began to clash, sparks flying in every direction, as the rapid sweeping of each of our blades carved their way through the air. The entire area we were in became a whirl of speed motion, blurs of dizzyingly rapid combat that no regular person could keep up with. One thing was for sure, this was not going to be an easy fight.